guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Holly. Today I have another monthly kit SmackDown to share with you. The kit I'm going to be testing today is a kit from Little Paper Prints. Let me just walk you through briefly what's in here. And if you are not familiar with my monthly kit SmackDown series, well, where have you been? No, I'm kidding. But I also, basically what I do in them is I test out monthly kits for their format, their functionality, how they look, just to my preferences, but just to let you guys know about what I found these kits to be. So I have done 2 already in the month of April. I will leave all of them in this series linked below, but because I've already done a couple in the month of April, and this will be more like a rewind spread, I am just gonna quickly speed up through laying down all the stickers, and then I can talk through my review for it at the end. And so I'll do a voiceover now. Okay, so I'm just getting started putting those strips along the top there. She does have all of the like date strips and the top covers all combined, which I kind of prefer, so that's nice. And just trying to get that straightened out up there. And then I'm taking the sidebar. She does not have like a separate stackable sidebar, it's all combined. So just super easy to lay that down. And then you can use these headers over top to kind of make your own checklists and based on the categories that you want. And I was just trying to vary up the color when I was doing my ordering there, just to keep it a little interesting. And then I'm taking the bonus strips that come with the kit, and she does not include those on the main sheets. They're like extra little strips, and putting those down. And one of the strips did have a holiday on it, so I went ahead and put that down. And then I'm trying very hard to get this lined up correctly so that that little bunny girl is lined up, and I think I did a pretty good job, so that's nice. And then I wanted to go through with the holidays next and just put all of those down. She did have all of the holidays that were in the Erin Condren, which is always nice. And I, for Easter, decided, since she just had like an Easter strip, but we were kind of celebrating Easter with family, I decided to use one of her full box date covers to block out Easter in lieu of making like a, because she didn't have like a full box Easter, which was totally fine. So that worked out really well. And then I am using the vacation strips to mark down some, the first one was family visiting us, and then the second one was traveling to see Dan's, my husband's family, for Easter. And so putting those down. And then I'm trying, and then I realized I had one more and I had a work trip, so it was just an overnight, so I just did 2 days there in that other color. And then I didn't love how those colors were popping, so instead I took the pink vacation strip there, and I'm just cutting it down with my X-Acto blade, and I just thought that stood out a little bit better than that kind of pale yellow beigey color. And then to bookmark the vacation, I was debating using the flags, but I didn't have a ton. So instead I just used some icons. And for that first one, it was family visiting us. So I used the house. And then the second one, I used cars because we were driving to see family. And then I used planes because she didn't have any more cars, but I really was driving for the work trip, but that was totally fine. And then I put in the payday flags for my paydays. And then I went ahead with one of her big flags and then her little paw print icon, which I thought was so cute, to note down that I needed to do our dog's pills on the first day of the month. And then I'm going through with my bills, and for her bills, she has just little bill flags, and I was kind of torn on whether to put those in the top corner or towards the bottom, but since I normally like my bills to be like on the bottom, I went ahead and just kept that consistent. And then and now I'm actually just going to go through each week because I'm just kind of like copying previous plans to show you guys this kit. So on the 4th, I had a happy hour. And then for the vacations, I'm just writing in what they are since I forgot to do that. And then I didn't have anything else the rest of that week. So then on to the following week. And on the 10th, I wanted to mark down that I needed to change my contacts. So I just used a little mini flag with a clock layered over it. And then on that Friday, I wanted to put down another bill due, so wrote that, and the same with that Saturday as well. And I'm just changing up the colors a little just because I like to have multiple colors on one day. Then I have another bill due that next Monday, and again the following day. So kind of using all of those. And for that last bill due, I didn't have any more bill due flags, so I just used a tiny flag with a money icon on top, and that worked out fine. And then on the 19th, had a cleaning appointment, and I just used the little @appointment sticker for that. And then on that Friday, it was a friend's birthday, so I marked that down. And then that weekend I wanted to put in that I was going to see my friend perform in a musical, and I was trying to look for like a good icon for that, and I ended up going with, I think it was the drinks one. I forget what I used. I can't even tell. It's so faint, but I found something that worked. And then I had to mark down changing my contacts again 2 weeks later. So again, using that same thing with the small flag and the clock icon. And on that Wednesday, I wanted to note down that it's my stepdad's birthday. And then on the 30th, I wanted to note down that I was going to brunch with my girlfriends. And that was pretty much it for the events that I wanted to note down for the month. But I also did want to go ahead. Oh no, I forgot something. Wait, what am I marking down? Oh, I wanted to note down that I was doing a date night with my husband that night. So went ahead and put that on that Friday. And now I'm just going through with my date dots, and she does do date squares. So they're actually fairly easy to line up with the little edges of the box. And I'll just speed through this super quick. And then the final thing I wanted to do for this spread was add in the gorgeous cutout deco that she had. So I just tried to kind of intersperse it in places where it looked really blank. I decided to stick just to this cutout deco as opposed to using any of the decorative date covers, because that's just my personal preference, but she did have a ton of decorative date covers as well. But I just really liked the way these looked, and I tried to make that gem effect kind of look like it was like falling gems from the top. I don't know. I just thought it looked really cool. So thought this kit turned out so beautiful, and now we'll get into the review. Okay guys, so I love how this turned out. Let me show you what I have left in the kit before we dive into the review. Tons of icons, event stickers, some flags, and vacation strips. And then I have even more vacation strips, and then I have all of these. I just didn't really want to use them. I wasn't totally in love with the bunny girl things, and you guys know that I really only like to use date covers when I need to actually block out an entire day. I was debating, maybe I'll put one on the 21st, because that day ended up getting like totally eaten up, so maybe I will go back and do that, because I just kind of, actually these stickers don't lift that well, and I don't feel like breaking out the undo, so I could have used one there, but you do get a lot, so if you like that kind of thing for more decoration, you definitely have that available. Then I just have a few payday flags and day off flags left, because I didn't take any days off, unfortunately. More event stickers and some more big flags. And then I did use up all the date dots. So, oh, I realized I forgot to write in one thing. Hold on. And then I did use up these two strips to cover up these as well. So let me now dive into my review. And so this kit pretty much had everything functional that I look for in a kit. So it had all my basics, which would be the covers for the days not in the month. It had a stackable sidebar. Well, not technically stackable, but you could rearrange the headers to kind of make it a stackable sidebar, which is the same view to me. Vacation strips, lots of vacation strips, which was really nice. Separate payday flags, separate bill due flags, a good amount of event stickers, actually a lot of event stickers, and then a ton of icons. I loved her selection of icons, so many to choose from. I found one for every event, and then the date dots, and then it had some things that I just like, I consider kind of like really nice extras. So I loved that there was the cutout deco. That is like my #1 favorite thing for kits to include, that's like beyond the basics, because I just think it makes the spreads look so much more decorative. But I really don't like using these date covers, which you guys know, I've mentioned this before. I don't mind using these to kind of block out a date like I did for Easter, but if I'm just going to use them as decoration, like these bunnies is what I probably would have used them for, I don't really like to use them because it's just visually confusing to me, because it looks like that date is marked out. I also personally like that she has skinnier holidays. I think that's really nice if you don't celebrate the holiday. They are something that's thinner, so it doesn't like, so if like, let's say you were Jewish and you got this kit, you could have easily left out the Easter one without like, you know, losing an entire full box. Like if the kit had like come with an Easter full box. Although I guess maybe if you didn't celebrate Easter, you wouldn't have gotten a bunny one. But anyway, I also Really liked that she had square date numbers. I just find those easier to put down, and these were like a little big, so that made it really easy to place them, and looks really nice as well. And in general, I just love the little touches. I always love little paper prints, like how she incorporates all this stitching into her into all of her stickers. She does it a lot in her regular kits, but you can see the holidays have like stitching around the outside. The little flags have the stitching in the hearts, and it looks like very much true to her style, and I just really, really like that. So you get tons of stuff in general. I actually did not have quite enough bill dues. I had to use for my final bill of the month, I had to use that, and I had a lot of paydays, so you know, you could kind of switch that, but in general you get a really good variety. And so moving on to what I kind of consider the negatives of the kit, I personally prefer bill dues that you write on. I actually thought this looked really cute, like the little flags are super cute, but I just in general prefer ones that are just like an entire strip and you write on them and then maybe have like a little place to check off that you paid them. I just don't like writing on the page like that if, I don't know, like when it's down at the bottom. I think it's just what I'm used to be perfectly honest, but I just am kind of used to having standalone boxes as opposed to the little flags, but I do think they looked really cute. The other thing I didn't love is that her boxes for the events were very skinny, and she did not have any that were bigger. So some kits that I've been really enjoying lately have like a few almost like half box size boxes in addition to their regular skinny event stickers, but she only had the skinny ones, and hers were like extra skinny. Like her bill dues and payday flags were fatter than her event stickers, so it just doesn't, so even though like some of these were kind of like bigger events, it doesn't really fully kind of stand out the way even the bill dues do in my view. But those are really the two main negatives. The only other thing I'll mention is that I had been wanting to try out her monthly kits for a while, and honestly I just couldn't find one where I just loved the design, and maybe that's just me being picky. For this one I don't love the bunnies, like they're okay, but it's not totally like, I don't know, they look kind of weird to me. That's not totally my vibe, but I loved this print, so I decided to pick it up. But yeah, that's kind of like one thing that I just noticed. For whatever reason, I don't know if they've just been too busy or too whatever, I just haven't found one that I loved. But in terms of the functionality, I think it is definitely on point, and I would totally be like looking for her kits in the future because I do think they're really, really nicely organized. You just really get a ton here, and so I would say overall, if you're a person that really likes using the decorative date covers, you get a ton with her kits. So for me, a lot of this sheet was wasted because that's not really my preference, but if you really like those, this is a great kit. And even if not, if you just have like a lot of events and you want a lot of different icons, I think this is a really good option as well. In terms of pricing, this kit was $14.95, so 15 bucks before any discount codes, and basically, and I got this in glossy, she only offers glossy stickers. You get 1, 2, 3, 4 base sheets of stickers, but then you also get these, and it looks like every month, and so you get the separate date numbers, then you also get these, and it looks like every month she's gonna be just kind of doing separate cutout stickers for the date covers that aren't in the month, which is awesome because that means that this format is gonna stay consistent and you won't have to lose some of these, or like some of the stickers in here to cover up days that aren't in the month. So really, I would almost consider this like almost really like 5 sheets, like when you kind of add all of this up, like if you think about it that way compared to other shops. So that really makes this like $3 a sheet for a glossy kit, which is awesome. So I think it is totally good value. I always think that about little paper prints. Like I said, I think it's a great option if you're someone that really likes date covers a lot or day covers, because you get a lot of those in the kit, and even if not, I think it's a really functional style. So yeah, that is my take on the Little Paper Prints monthly kit. I definitely enjoyed it. I'll keep an eye on it in the future. Might not be my first go-to just because, like I said, I haven't found some of the art that I've loved from her style, but in terms of functionality, I would definitely use her in the future. So that is it for this version of the monthly kit SmackDown. Give this video a thumbs up if you want to keep seeing these. It does help let me know. And then also go ahead and subscribe to see more. I'll definitely have a monthly view plan with me for May coming up sometime soon. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye!